What's up? I am Talea and this is Not Your Average Tea Talks. Thank you for clicking on this video. Listen, I'm gonna hop right into it because my camera is tripping. It's only letting me record like 5 minutes, 7 minutes, and I got a lot of questions to answer. So I'm gonna do it right now. All right, so the first question I got from my boy Matthew Hubbard in the comments, he asked me 4 questions and they are loaded. So I'm gonna try to just bang them out, okay? The first thing he asked me was, what was my reason for joining? I'm glad you asked. Sometimes I feel like a lot of people join because they're like super patriotic or they have a long lineage of like military service and it runs in the family and stuff like that. But in my case, that wasn't really it. I mean, we do have military history, but nobody really in the Marine Corps except my uncle, but I didn't really grow up with him like that, so I didn't really know. But I joined because my mom was a single mom of 3 kids. I had good grades in high school, but I knew I wasn't going to college. And I needed to do something with my life and I wanted a career and I wanted to get out of there. I was also in JROTC when I was in high school, so I knew that the military was a good route. And compared to all the other branches, the Marine Corps was really just the best fit for me. When I was actually exploring branches and trying to figure out which one I wanted to join, I went to the Air Force office, and to be completely honest, they were a little too lackadaisical for me because I was already like even in high school, I was like, what the fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? I was already like tough. I was tough when I was in high school. Same thing with the Navy. The Navy, when I went into their office, I got a 72 on the ASVAB. So they told me that, I could be like Intel or whatever it was. Like they were offering so many good jobs, but something about the way they moved was kind of just like, no, it's good. It's easy. Like it's good work. It's easy work, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, okay, I like that. I could think I can go into the Navy. And then when I met the Marines, they were like, it's hard. You can't do it. You suck. And I was like, I really like the way you're talking to me right now. So I chose the Marine Corps. Easy day. So my real 2 reasons for joining was my family needed me to be successful. They needed something and I needed money and a career and I needed a job. And I knew that I wasn't just going to go work a job. If I was going to do something, I was going to dedicate myself to it. And I was going to dedicate myself to the best and hardest force there was. That's how I joined. Next question is, did I want to be a recruiter? Absolutely not. I did not sign up to be a recruiter. Okay. The question was, did I ask to be a recruiter or was I assigned it? I was assigned it. I actually requested to be a drill instructor 3 times. Okay. The first time I was denied because my tattoos were like out of regulations. The second time I was denied because I was going through a divorce and I had legal troubles and they didn't really want to deal with like the divorce and all that kind of stuff and me being in and out of the office and in and out of training and all that. The third time, I was actually on a small unit deployment in Australia, and I was in the field at the time, and they needed new pictures of my tattoos. By the time I got back out and I got the message, and I gave them the pictures of my tattoos, my package was so late that the drill instructor boat had basically taken off, and I only had recruiting left, and I got selected for recruiting because they were like, oh yeah, let's go. So that's how I became a recruiter. I tell people that all the time because I never wanted to be a recruiter. I love being a Marine. I never liked being a recruiter. And so I was always upfront and honest with people. That's why if you ask me questions, I'm going to give you the answers. So anyways, the next question is, what are the biggest 3 lessons you learned while you're in? This is loaded and I only got 3 minutes, so I'm going to run through it. The first one is always assume you're being watched. You always have to assume that you're being watched. I learned that in the Marine Corps because, you could be walking on somebody's grass and next thing you know, the next morning when you go to work, that was somebody's staff sergeant who told the sergeant major whose sergeant major saw him while driving past, and that sergeant major contacted my sergeant major because that person seen me at the chow hall and they knew where I worked. And then the next thing you know, you're out there mowing that person's lawn the next day. Like, you have to assume you're being watched because it's like that. Okay. All right, next thing is do the right thing even when no one's looking. That kind of goes into assume that you're being watched, but always doing things the hard way. When I was stationed in Fort Dix, New Jersey, I took my Marines over to the Air Force Air Wing, an aircraft unit for the Air Force. I took them over there so that they could see how the Air Force worked and so that we could mingle with other branches so that we all kind of had an understanding of who we are. And when I took my Marines over there, some of my Marines actually had like attitudes. They were genuinely upset because they saw some of the ways that the Air Force does things. It took 7 airmen to do what 1 Marine does in the Marine Corps. I'm not even lying. It was an air wing, so they were checking out tools and they were using like these scanning systems. One person would scan the tools, the other person would go grab the tools, the other person would bring the tools out. Da 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 da. It took 7 airmen, and 1 Marine was also in charge of the logbook that we use, the green logbook that they use pencil in to track these tools, and then delivers the tools, puts them back, is responsible for the tools, etc., etc., etc. So what took 7 airmen took 1 Marine. The last thing I learned was never quit on people. Okay? Never quit on people. He asked me one more question, but I want to focus on this one for now. Never quit on people. So right now, I got out of the Marine Corps. I transitioned. I'm a small business entrepreneur. I actually have a cleaning business here in Atlanta, Georgia, and I have some employees that work under me. The thing that I'm learning, or the thing that I know now, is we don't quit on people. If they don't perform to the standard, we don't fire. We just train, 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 train. We don't quit on people. You don't quit on people that dedicate themselves to you. You don't give up on people that are really trying to give their all and are really doing something for you. So I just learned that, that brotherhood and that sisterhood bond, you don't quit on people. Okay. The last thing I will go over before my camera dies is my favorite aspects of the job. I was personnel administration, which means I was admin. So of course my favorite thing to do was help people, because as admin, the power is in your hands. You control people's pay, you control their leave, you control making sure that they get promoted, all that stuff. You control making sure that the system is right to make sure that Marines have a smooth career. I loved that. I was also a martial arts instructor. I love slapping people in the face. I'm really good at it. And I love doing it. So as a martial arts instructor, I learned how to really test my strength. And then that kind of got me into powerlifting. And when I was a powerlifter, I felt like I was the strongest I've ever been in my life. Not only was I as strongest as a Marine, but I was the strongest I've ever been as a powerlifter. So my favorite aspects of the job is that I was able to be physically fit, mentally sharp, and they paid me for it. Period. Well, look, my camera's about to die, so I love y'all. Thank you for sticking in there. I hope this video answers some questions. If you got some, ask me. I love you. This is Tilea. This is Not Your Average Tea Talks. I'm out.